Minister, thank you, Deputy Daly. I'm sorry to Senator Donnghaile and to Deputy Brophy. I ask you just to be as brief as you can, in deference to our witnesses for the second session. Senator Donnghaile.
Okay, Carly, I'll be very brief. Minister, just I share a lot of concerns expressed by Deputy Daly there in relation to the lack of clarity around some of this. But what struck me there, in terms of your advocating that you're there from the earliest possible stage in relation to the opt-out of third parties and third-party countries, and I might be completely going up the wrong path here, but it sounds to me like you want to be there to guard against some concerning positions that may be coming forward in relation to the impact on Ireland. So, in expanding on that, Minister, it's just to ask, in terms of any opt-in with this, that you can give us a further reassurance that either through the Gardaí or indeed through cooperation with the Commission and broader European structures, that none of this is going to be directed towards or used for the enforcement or the hardening of policing along the border.
Minister, please.
Well, what I will say is, Cathaoirleach, having regard to the committee's remit of engaging on particular Garda programmes with An Garda Síochána, I would prefer if that issue was answered by An Garda Síochána for two reasons. Firstly, it would appear to be an operational matter. Secondly, it would appear to be an issue that would form part of a programme under this framework that will be designed by An Garda Síochána.
But very quickly, obviously from a government perspective, Minister, you have made very clear public commitments not to harden the border, that there will be no additional infrastructure, there will be no hardening of policing mechanics or anything else. So in terms of appreciating the operational status, and that's a question I of course will put to the Garda Commissioner, but from you as Minister and as a member of the Government, can you give a reassurance that any opt-in into this particular suggestion or this programme won't see resources from it, whether financial or other ways, directed towards that kind of policing along the border? What's your position on that and your department's
position? I am fully satisfied, having regard to the public utterances of the British Government and in particular the British Prime Minister, that there will not be a hard border on the island of Ireland consequent on the withdrawal of the UK from the European Union. I'm not planning for such. The government is not planning for such. So I regard your question, therefore, as being one of little relevance, having regard to the fact that, as far as we are concerned, there will be no hard border on the island of Ireland. That's the view of the Irish Government, it's the view of the British Government, it's the view of the European Union.
It's very hopeful of you, Minister, but if there were, that's my concern. My concern is that you haven't articulated certainly the political position of your government, as stated numerous times here this morning, that there will be no hardening of the border, and that through the opt-in of this programme, you or indeed the Gardaí will ensure that as a result of our participation, whether it's pressure from domestically or indeed from the Commission, none of our involvement in this programme will result in enforcement or a hardening, or whatever way you want to put it, additional militarised, whatever it may be, policing infrastructure along the border.
No, there is no countenancing on the part of the Irish Government of the reintroduction of a hard border on the island of Ireland, north and south. So the application of any EU funding towards such an endeavour is not an issue.
Okay, Senator.
In deference to you, Chair, I will
wait
on the Commissioner comment.
I appreciate that. Deputy Colin Brophy.